First contact and misconceptions. The Pyronian mothership hovered silently above Earth's atmosphere, its heat-resistant hull glowing faintly from the friction of orbital insertion. Commander Vex stood on the observation deck, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the blue-green planet below. As the designated diplomatic representative of the Pyronian confluence, he had studied Earth extensively before this mission. Born on Pyros Prime, a planet orbiting so close to its sun that surface temperatures regularly exceeded 600 degrees Celsius, the Pyronians had evolved to not merely survive fire but to channel and manipulate it as easily as humans might shape clay. Their bodies contained specialized organs that could generate and control flames, and their civilization had advanced by mastering increasingly complex applications of thermal energy. Most fascinating, Science Officer Elmira said, joining him at the viewport. Her exoskeleton was thinner than his, with elegant crystalline formations that marked her as a member of the academic caste. These humans use fire, but so primitively. Vex had nodded, mandibles clicking in what his species recognized as amusement. They worship it as we once did, 10,000 years ago. They cook with it, warm themselves with it, but they never truly became one with it. The observation monitors displayed images collected over the past Earth year. Humans huddled around campfires, cooking on gas stoves, lighting simple fireworks for celebration. The Pyronian High Council had determined that humanity represented no threat to their kind, but potentially offered valuable resources and a strategic position in the solar system. Their atmosphere is perfect, Vex noted. Oxygen-rich, but not excessively so. Ideal for controlled combustion experiments we cannot perform on Pyros Prime. And they've never encountered another spacefaring species, Elmira added. The Council believes this makes them ideal for first contact. Malleable. Impressionable. Vex's inner flame pulsed with anticipation. Prepare the landing craft. We'll make contact at their United Nations headquarters as arranged through their primitive radio communications. Remember the protocol. Minimal flame displays, no matter how tempting. We don't want to frighten them. The diplomatic vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere the next morning, landing precisely on the designated area of the United Nations Plaza in New York. A delegation of Earth's highest officials waited, surrounded by security forces and media representatives from around the globe. Vex emerged first, his crystalline form causing audible gasps among the humans present. At 3 meters tall, with a translucent exoskeleton that revealed swirling patterns of inner fire, he cut an imposing figure. He dimmed his internal flames out of courtesy, though maintaining them at the minimum level required for his survival. People of Earth, he spoke, his specialized vocalization organ converting his native flame language to English. I am Commander Vex of the Pyronian Confluence. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and mutual benefit. The Earth delegation, led by UN Secretary-General Maya Okafor, responded with practiced diplomacy. Commander Vex, humanity welcomes you and your people. We look forward to peaceful exchange and cooperation between our worlds. The initial meetings went smoothly. Earth scientists marveled at Pyronian technology, ships powered by controlled fusion, medical techniques that utilized precise thermal management, and communication systems based on modulated infrared radiation. The Pyronians, in turn, studied Earth's biodiversity, water-based ecosystems, and cultural diversity with academic interest. But as the days turned to weeks, subtle tensions emerged. During a cultural exchange at a major university, Elmira gave a presentation on Pyronian history that emphasized their species' natural evolution beyond primitive fire usage. While humans have certainly accomplished much with your limited thermal manipulation abilities, she explained to the assembled professors and students, you've never progressed beyond using fire as a tool. For Pyronians, fire is not something we use, it is something we are. To demonstrate, she intensified her internal flames until her entire body glowed white-hot, then extended a limb and shaped the escaping plasma into an intricate three-dimensional fractal pattern floating above the amazed audience. This level of fire mastery is something your species could never achieve without technological assistance, she concluded as the pattern dissipated. Your biology simply doesn't allow for it. The human scientists maintained their professional composure, but Vex had noticed the slight stiffening in their postures, the forced smiles. He made a mental note to discuss tact with Elmira later. Similar incidents accumulated. A Pyronian engineer dismissed Earth's fusion research as charming but centuries behind our understanding. A cultural attaché questioned why humans would waste time with primitive cooking methods when Pyronian thermal technology could prepare food at the molecular level with perfect precision. The diplomatic mission reached a critical juncture during a joint military briefing. General Haruki Tanaka of the United Earth Defense Force had arranged the meeting to discuss potential security cooperation. The Pyronians had been reluctant. They saw little need for military alliance with a species so technologically inferior, but protocol demanded they attend. As you can see, General Tanaka explained, pointing to a holographic display, Earth maintains defensive capabilities appropriate to our technological level. We hope never to need them in our relationship with the Pyronian confluence. Commander Vex studied the display with growing concern. The humans possessed nuclear weapons, chemical agents, and various delivery systems more advanced than Pyronian intelligence had estimated. While still primitive compared to Pyronian capabilities, these weapons suggested humanity might not be as harmless as they had assumed. "What is this?" Vex asked, indicating a section of the display labeled Advanced Incendiary Systems. "Those are specialized weapons systems," General Tanaka replied evenly. "We've developed various applications of thermal energy for defensive purposes." "You use fire as a weapon?" Elmira asked, her voice carrying the distinctive crackling undertone that indicated Pyronian alarm. "Among other things," the general confirmed. "We'd be happy to provide a demonstration at our test facility if you're interested." Vex's inner flames flared involuntarily. The idea that these primitive beings would weaponize the sacred element of his people was unexpected and disturbing. The Pyronians used their natural thermal abilities for creation, exploration, and only reluctantly for defense. "We would indeed be interested," Vex replied after regaining his composure. "Tomorrow, perhaps." As the human delegation left, Vex turned to his security chief, Thorax. "Contact the mothership. I want a full analysis of human military capabilities, particularly anything involving thermal applications. These creatures may be more dangerous than we thought." That night, in the secure compound provided for the Pyronian delegation, Vex had reviewed the hastily compiled intelligence. Humans had indeed weaponized fire in ways the Pyronians had never considered, not because they couldn't, but because such applications seemed crude, inelegant, and contrary to Pyronian spiritual beliefs about the sacred nature of flame. "Napalm, white phosphorus, thermobaric explosives," he read aloud, his inner fire pulsing with unease. "They've turned our sacred element into tools of destruction. Should we abort the mission?" Thorax asked. His military-cased exoskeleton was thicker, with specialized heat sinks that allowed him to generate combat-level temperatures without damage. "No," Vex decided after consideration. "The High Council wants this alliance, but we must reassess our approach. These humans are not the simple fire users we believe them to be. There is something unpredictable about them." Elmira joined them, her scientific curiosity overriding any cultural discomfort. "I've been analyzing their history. Humans have an unusual relationship with fire. They fear it, yet they constantly push its boundaries. They've burned each other as punishment, used it in warfare since their earliest civilizations, even while simultaneously considering it essential for their survival and progress. A contradictory species," Vex concluded. "We must proceed with caution. Tomorrow's demonstration may reveal more about their true nature than all our previous diplomatic exchanges." As the Pyronian delegation retired to their regeneration chambers, specialized environments designed to maintain the high temperatures they required, Vex found himself unable to enter the restorative trance his species used instead of sleep. Something about humanity's approach to fire troubled him deeply. His people had evolved beyond using flame as a mere tool or weapon. They had incorporated it into their very being. Yet these humans, with their fragile water-based biology and their brief histories, had taken fire in directions the Pyronians had never imagined. Was it innovation or perversion? Progress or barbarism? Tomorrow's demonstration would perhaps provide answers. What Vex couldn't anticipate was how fundamentally that demonstration would change the relationship between their species, challenging the most basic Pyronian assumptions about their own mastery of flame. The demonstration and understanding. The military testing ground sprawled across 50 square kilometers of desert, far from civilian populations. Commander Vex and his delegation arrived via military transport, escorted by General Tanaka. And a new face, Captain Sarah Chen, introduced as the Earth Defense Forces Specialist in Thermal Weapons Systems. Captain Chen, compact and efficient in her movements, greeted the aliens with professional courtesy. "Welcome to White Sands Test Range, Commander. We've prepared a comprehensive demonstration of Earth's thermal technologies at the General's request." Vex studied her with interest. Unlike the scientists and diplomats he'd met, Captain Chen carried herself with the unmistakable bearing of someone intimate with the technologies they were about to witness. "I appreciate your transparency, Captain," Vex replied. "My people have a special relationship with fire. We are curious to see humanity's approach to what we consider a sacred element." A flicker of something, amusement, challenge, crossed Captain Chen's face. "Sacred or not, Commander, fire is a fundamental force. Humans have spent thousands of years learning to harness it in ways that might surprise you." The delegation was led to an observation bunker overlooking a range filled with various targets, vehicle mock-ups, reinforced concrete structures, and metal plates of varying thicknesses. The bunker's windows were made of specialized material that could withstand extreme heat and pressure. "We'll start with the basics," Captain Chen explained, "and progress to our more advanced systems." At her signal, a soldier approached the first demonstration area carrying what appeared to be a simple mechanical device with a fuel tank. When activated, it projected a stream of liquid fire 30 meters across the testing ground, engulfing a vehicle target completely. "A basic flamethrower," Chen explained as the Pyronians watched with growing interest. "Developed nearly 2 centuries ago, though this is a modern variant. It projects a mixture of gelled petroleum that adheres to surfaces and continues burning." Vex observed the demonstration with conflicted feelings. The technology was indeed primitive by Pyronian standards. Any hatchling could produce similar effects naturally, but the tactical applications were immediately apparent. "And your soldiers carry these devices in combat?" Elmira asked. "Historically, yes," Chen replied, "though they've been largely superseded by more precise systems." The next demonstration featured an aircraft that swooped low over the range, releasing a rain of fire that covered a vast area. The jellied incendiary continued burning even when test sprinklers activated, demonstrating its resistance to water suppression. "Aerial delivery systems," Chen continued clinically. "These can distribute incendiary material over large areas, effective in certain combat scenarios, though international agreements limit their use against civilian targets." Thorax, the security chief, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "Effective but indiscriminate. We could achieve similar results with greater precision." "Quite right," Chen agreed, surprising the Pyronian, "which is why we've developed these." The next series of demonstrations showed increasingly sophisticated applications, precise laser ignition systems that could target specific components of enemy equipment, thermite charges that burned hot enough to melt through tank armor, and microwave-based area denial weapons that created the sensation of burning without actual flames. With each demonstration, the Pyronian delegation grew quieter, their inner flames fluctuating in ways that reflected their unsettled state. These humans, with their water-based biology that made them vulnerable to even modest heat, had developed thermal weapons that rivaled or exceeded what Pyronians could produce naturally. Impressive, Vex finally acknowledged. Though I note these are all destructive applications, on Pyros Prime, we use our thermal mastery primarily for creation and exploration. Captain Chen's expression softened slightly. We're getting to that, Commander. Not all human fire technology is designed for war. The next phase of the demonstration moved to an adjacent facility where industrial applications were showcased, plasma cutting tools that sliced through metal with microscopic precision, controlled fusion experiments that promised clean energy, and medical devices that used targeted heat for healing rather than harm. The atmosphere gradually lightened as the Pyronians witnessed these more constructive applications. Elmira in particular engaged enthusiastically with the scientists, demonstrating a new thermal imaging system for detecting diseases before physical symptoms appeared. Perhaps we've misjudged your species' relationship with fire, Vex admitted to General Tanaka as they watched Elmira's animated discussion with the human scientists. It's a human trait to explore the extremes of any technology, Tanaka replied. For better and worse. The final demonstration was scheduled to be the most impressive, a controlled test of a new plasma containment system with both military and civilian applications. The delegates were moved to a more heavily reinforced observation bunker as technicians prepared the test apparatus. This technology represents the cutting edge of our thermal research, Captain Chen explained. A magnetically contained plasma field that can be precisely shaped and directed. We're testing it for potential use in everything from spacecraft shielding to precision demolition. The test began with a low hum as the containment field established itself, visible as a shimmering blue dome over the test area. Within it, a plasma stream began to form, twisting into complex shapes controlled by the magnetic field. Vex watched with genuine admiration. This approached Pyronian natural abilities, though achieved through technology rather than biology. The elegant precision of the plasma forms suggested these humans understood fire at a deeper level than he had credited. Then something went wrong. A power fluctuation caused the magnetic containment to waver. Alarms blared as the test controllers fought to stabilize the system. The plasma, no longer fully contained, began to expand erratically. Containment failure, a technician shouted. Evacuate immediately. The humans moved with practiced efficiency toward emergency exits, but Vex realized instantly that the standard evacuation procedures wouldn't be fast enough. The destabilizing plasma field was expanding too quickly. Without hesitation, he stepped forward, his exoskeleton glowing as he channeled his internal fire. Stand back, he commanded. Vex focused his thermal energy outward, creating a counter-resonance field designed to interact with the escaping plasma. It was a technique Pyronians used to control solar flares on their home world, never before attempted in Earth's atmosphere. He wasn't certain it would work. To his surprise, Captain Chen didn't retreat with the others. Instead, she moved to a control console, fingers flying over the interface. "What are you doing?" Vex demanded, struggling to maintain his focus on the containment effort. "Helping," she replied tersely. "I'm reconfiguring the magnetic field to complement whatever you're doing. Just tell me what frequency you need." Despite the crisis, Vex felt a moment of astonishment. This human had immediately grasped what he was attempting and adapted her technology to assist. 7.3 terahertz, he managed, his voice strained with effort. Chen made the adjustment, and instantly Vex felt the difference as the human technology synchronized with his biological abilities. Together, they created a stabilizing effect that gradually brought the plasma under control. Elmira and Thorax joined them, adding their own thermal manipulations to the effort. The combined Pyronian and human technologies worked in unexpected harmony, containing the potential disaster more effectively than either could have managed alone. When the crisis finally ended, both species looked at each other with new understanding. "I believe," Vex said, his voice carrying new respect, "that we have underestimated your species' mastery of fire." Captain Chen wiped sweat from her forehead, her uniform singed but her composure intact. And perhaps we've underestimated the practical applications of your natural abilities, Commander. In the aftermath, as emergency teams secured the facility and medical personnel treated minor injuries, Vex has found himself in a reflective conversation with both Captain Chen and General Tanaka. My people have always defined ourselves as the masters of flame in the galaxy, Vex admitted. We thought our biological connection to fire made us unique, superior in that respect. Yet today shows we've approached the same element from entirely different directions, Chen observed. You evolved with it. We had to conquer it. Different paths to similar mastery. More than that, General Tanaka added. Today demonstrated something more valuable than either approach alone. The potential of combining our knowledge. Vex's inner flame pulsed in agreement. The High Council sent us here expecting to find a primitive species we might guide, perhaps even protect. Instead, we found equals with complementary knowledge. A week later, as the Pyronian mothership prepared for departure, Commander Vex finalized the new cooperation protocols with Earth's leadership. The mission had transformed from a diplomatic formality into the foundation of a genuine alliance. The final meeting took place at the same United Nations plaza where they had first landed. This time, however, the atmosphere was different. Less formal ceremony, more collaborative planning. The Pyronian confluence extends an invitation for Earth to join the Interstellar Thermal Research Consortium, Vex announced. Your scientists and our researchers working together will advance our understanding of thermal physics beyond what either could achieve alone. Secretary General Okafor accepted with grace, and Earth extends an invitation for Pyronian observers to join our planetary defense initiatives. We have much to learn from each other about both creation and protection. As Vex prepared to board his ship, Captain Chen approached him with a small device. A parting gift, she explained, handing him what appeared to be a miniaturized version of the Flamethrower he had first seen at the demonstration. Customized for Pyronian physiology. You can integrate it with your natural abilities. Vex accepted the gift with appropriate ceremony. I shall demonstrate it to the High Council personally. They should understand exactly why our assessment of humanity requires significant revision. Just don't tell them it's actually a cooking torch, Chen added with a smile. Designed for making creme brulee. Vex's crystalline form shimmered with amusement. Perhaps the most appropriate symbol of our new understanding. A device that uses fire for both destruction and creation, depending on how one chooses to use it. As the Pyronian ship rose from Earth, Vex gazed down at the blue planet with new appreciation. His species had evolved as living embodiments of fire, but these humans, these fragile, water-based beings who could be destroyed by the very element they manipulated, had developed a relationship with flame that was uniquely their own. The Pyronians might be born of fire, but humans had conquered it through sheer determination and ingenuity. Together, there was no telling what they might achieve.